Good evening, Bloomsbury Theatre. Please welcome to the stage, Suzi Ruffell!
Thank you, that's very kind. That's very kind, thank you very much. Woo. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for coming. I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited that we're recording this show. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a bit all over the place. My brain's sort of going wild at the moment. But that's not that unusual. And I realised this over Christmas because every member of my family told me at some point that they think I have ADHD. I'm constantly being told that at the moment. Everyone thinks I have attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. My wife is convinced that I have it. Yes, I have a wife. If you've not seen me before, my hair's not an accident, neither's the vibe. Got a wife, she is convinced I've got ADHD. My mother-in-law is convinced I have ADHD. So much so that my mother-in-law came to our house with an article all about women in their 30s being diagnosed with ADHD. And I started reading it, lost interest, and now I can't find it. So I guess we'll never know. But there's a reason that my potential ADHD has become more pronounced. In recent years, certainly since the last time I was out on tour, I've become a mum. 3 woos. No, you all heard what happened then. You heard it, I heard it, let's not pretend. It's interesting telling a British crowd you've become a parent. That is always the response. The tail end of last year, I was lucky enough to go to North America to do some shows. I'm on stage. I say, I've recently become a mum, and I am stopped by a wall of sound. A wall of Americans just going, yeah, good for you, love to see it, working moms, yeehaw, woohoo! Tell you lot, couldn't give a fuck. Don't care about your kids. Come for the comedy, don't care about your kids. Just tell us a joke, come on, Suze. Tell us a joke, tell us a fucking joke, come on, Suze. Tell us a joke, anyone can have a baby, it's well easy. We're a couple of lesbians, it's actually really fucking hard. So the ADHD's become more pronounced, as has my anxiety. I'm quite an anxious person. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think if you don't have anxiety, you are not concentrating. Like, if you're getting through this life and you're not anxious, you are fucked. You have disassociated. You need professional help. Now, I know part of the reason that I am anxious is because I have quite an anxious mum. So I'm trying quite hard now to not make my daughter anxious like me. Let's find out. Have we got parents in? Give me a cheer. Oh, there's a few of us tonight. Brilliant. So quite recently, my daughter and I were in a soft play centre. Give me a cheer if you've been. Give me a cheer if you liked it. Yeah, there you go. It's horrible, it's hellish, right? It's absolutely hellish. I was in there, right? A child that wasn't mine ran past me as I yawned, and they sneezed directly on my tongue. I know, it's gross, I know. So I've got cholera, you have too now, the doors are locked, sorry about that. But we're in this soft play centre, and my little girl, she's 3 now, she comes over to me, and she goes, Mama, are we having fun now? And I don't think I've ever related to anything more. I feel like every single time I leave the house, I'm like, is this fun? Is this a good time? Is this worth leaving the house for? I've got Netflix at home, is this worth it? I don't know. Some of you will be thinking that right this minute. Is it worth it? I know where I'm at in my career, right? I know where I'm at. I know there'll be people in this room who might have seen one of my shows before, might listen to one of my podcasts, or might have seen me on a telly thing. I also know there'll be people in here who haven't got a fucking clue who I am. And your friend has said to you, please come with me, I don't want to go to comedy by myself, I might get picked on. And I'll be honest, that laugh was slightly too big for my confidence, if I'm honest. I've got a low level of fame, me. I've got a low level of fame. I have the kind of level of fame where occasionally people in the street will go, and I can tell they're thinking, were you on Live at the Apollo? Or did you used to play hockey with my sister? The answer is usually yes to both. I am a cliche. I need to reassure my little girl, don't I? I need to reassure her, but I also want to teach her to reassure herself. So I said, well, what do you think? Do you think we're having fun? And she goes, yeah, I think we're having a great time. And I said, then we are. And she goes, yeah! And then runs and jumps into a ball pit. And I thought, I wish I could be reassured that easily. I wish every Wednesday when I saw my therapist. We do it on Zoom. She doesn't live in a book. It's not got that bad. Hello, the thoughts are back. It's not that bad yet. She's always there because I'm always late. There, poised, waiting. Wingback chair, wooden jewellery. What is it about therapists and wooden jewellery? Fuck me, they love square, circle, square. Primary colours. Every time she moves, it's like we're about to do a sea shanty. She's there, wingback chair, wooden jewellery, grey quiff. It's like I'm having therapy with Prue Leith. She's there, but she doesn't reassure me. She doesn't reassure me at all. I used to have someone that reassured me. I was very, very close to my nan. She died a few years ago now, but she was the person that would always reassure me. Now, my anxiety started when I was about 12, when I was in secondary school. And I used to go to school every day, and while I was there, I would think about all the things that I would have to tell Nan about later. I went to her house every day after school. We'd have a cup of tea and 2 rich tea biscuits, and I would just tell her about all the different things that had worried me throughout the day. And one day, I got there, and she gave me this. It's a worry doll, yeah. Some of the more anxious people are nodding. A couple of the confident pricks, not a fucking clue. It's a worry doll. Now, for those of you that don't know, what you're supposed to do is before you go to bed every night, you're meant to tell your little worry doll all of your worries and then pop her under your pillow. And then in your dreams, she carries away all of your worries. Sounds sweet, doesn't it, Nan, giving me this? Sounds cute. Also sounds like my Nan was going, fuck me, I can't take much more of this. I'm going to have to bring in a tiny reinforcement. So that night I went home and I thought I'd try it. Because if any of you are like me, and you're anxious as well, you know what it's like. You'd do anything to get rid of the anxiety. So I thought I'd try it. So there's 12-year-old me sitting on my bed. Okay. Hello? No. Okay. What am I worried about? What am I worried about? I'm worried that the girls at school don't like me. And I'm also worried that the boys at school don't like me. And I'm worried that I saw a ghost in my room because I think I saw a ghost in my room. And then I said to my mum, I think there's a ghost in my room. And she went, that'd be your granddad. And that has made it much, much worse. And I'm worried about the Bermuda Triangle. And I'm worried about quicksand. But the main thing I'm worried about, the main thing I'm really worried about, and I've got to make sure Mum and Dad aren't outside, the main thing that I am really, really worried about is I'm worried about how much I like Mel C. I like Mel C so much. I am thinking about Sporty Spice morning, noon, and night. Now, the thing you need to understand is the Spice Girls were massive to me. I was born in 86, Wannabe came out in 96. I loved the Spice Girls and I loved everything they represented. I loved the friendship, the girl power, the feminism. Some of the younger people in this room won't realise they are the reason we have the vote. One of them died because of a king's horse. I can't remember the story. Horsey Spice, she died. So sad. So sad. Now, a few of you in this room will have realised why I had those feelings about Mel C. Indeed, some of you might have even shared those feelings about Mel C. Because I couldn't really see anyone that was like me. I was kind of working out that I was gay. It's worth pointing out that Mel C's not gay, but she just seemed like she might be. Because she wore a tracksuit and had a high ponytail and she could do a cartwheel. And at that age, I thought, I guess that's my culture. I guess that's what I am. I guess I'm a Sporty Spice. Because I think as a young person, all you're really looking for is you're looking for someone in your family or in your community or in the media to look at and go, well, you're a bit like me and you're a grown-up and you seem happy, so maybe when I'm a grown-up, I'll be happy as well. And there was no one like that for me on the television that I could see and that I could relate to because I don't like the horse racing. Hasn't Claire Balding put in a shift? That woman Must be exhausted by the weight of representation. Fun fact, and this is a bit of a secret, so keep it to yourself, she was actually Horsey Spice. The girls had a row, she had to leave. Real nightmare situation. I used to have a fantasy about Mel C, and it wasn't even a sexy one. I hadn't even got to that stage, really. I just wanted to help her. I wanted to be of assistance to Mel C. I used to think, I wish Mel C was in Portsmouth. That's where I grew up. I wish Mel C was in Portsmouth. And I wish she was, thank you. And I wish, the best response it's ever got. And I wish she was out on her bike. That's what I was doing a lot of at the time. I wish she was out on her bike, and I wish she got a puncture right outside my door. And then I could poke my head out of it and go, don't worry, Mel, I've got a pump. That was it. That was the whole fantasy. So I'm very concerned about my feelings about Mel C. And I'm also worried that Alex doesn't like me. And then I did exactly what Nan said. I popped her under my pillow, and in my dreams she carried away all of my worries. And what I have done as a 38-year-old woman is I've swapped that for a wife. Yes, people with anxious partners in, you know what this is like, don't you? So now every single night me and Alice snuggle down, Spice Girls duvet, because, you know, why not? I have to make sure Mel C's right on top of me. And Alice, my wife, she turns off the light. And she pops down her eye mask. And I'll go, not yet. I've got some thoughts you're going to have to check. I'm worried that James doesn't like me. I'm also worried that Henry doesn't like me. I'm worried that I'm not fun. I'm worried that I'm not a good time. I'm worried that I'm not good at chatting to people. Now, you might think that's weird doing a job like this, but I feel more confident if I've got a microphone. And let me tell you, if you take your own 12 Wetherspoons, they will ask you to leave. But I find chit-chat very awkward. Not with my friends, but I get very confused. I don't know what to do. It was very hard during the pandemic because we weren't allowed to shake hands. I know where I am with a handshake. I trust a handshake. I know what I'm doing. But I couldn't do that during the panny D. Mid-pandemic, I was asked to do my first episode of QI. Very exciting, right? And I went down to Television Centre and I popped on my suit and I had my makeup done and I put on a little microphone. And then they took me down to the studio floor. And the guy that was the producer, he came over to me and he said, Suzi, great to have you on the show. We're really pleased you're here. Now listen, just to let you know, you are not allowed to touch Sandy Toksvig. Now, I've got to be very clear here. They said that to everyone. That wasn't just to me. They said it to everyone. Sandy was doing so many shows on the bounce, she had to make sure that she didn't get ill because it would just disrupt filming, okay? But then what happened is Sandy Toksvig started walking down this long corridor towards me. She was not much bigger than that. She started walking down this long corridor towards me, getting closer and closer and closer to me until I panicked and then I bowed. Sandy panicked too. She bowed back. It was like we were about to do karate. Or like I was going, the superior lesbians here, give her the sword. Please take the sword, Sandy. Please take the sword. Happened again. I was invited to another nice day out. I was invited to the British Comedy Awards. There was an awards show, and there was a party afterwards. And my agent said to me, Suze, go and network. And I thought, oh, you'll regret that. I'm better with a buffer, if I'm honest. And then what I did, and I don't know if any of you are like me, because I felt a bit nervous, I thought, right, what I'll do is I'll have a couple of drinks, just a couple of little white wines, not too much, just a couple of little white wines, and then I'll be nice and loose and charming. You know when I'm nice and loose and charming, just lovely and loose and nice and charming. Just a couple of little white wines, worth noting, I hadn't had dinner. And I had a couple of little white wines, and I got started to chatting to a guy who worked in telly quite high up, I later found out, and he was from Northern Ireland. And in that moment, what I thought would be nice and loose and charming, yes, you know where this is going, would be if I did his accent back at him for the entirety of the conversation, just saying things like, it's a travesty I wasn't in Derry Girls. Just really nice and loose and charming. So I'm worried that Connor doesn't like me. Alice, please turn back. I am not finished. And I'm worried about the humanitarian crisis in the Middle East. I'm worried about the war in Ukraine. I'm worried about women in Iran. I'm worried about reproductive rights being rolled back across the globe. I'm worried about LGBT rights being rolled back across the globe. I'm worried about the fact that we've brought a little girl into the world and it feels like the world is currently just shifting to the right and I don't know what to do. I'm worried about the fact that she might go to a school where there might be parents that don't like people like us. I'm worried there might be parents at the school that might protest outside because of books they have in the library about families that look like ours. I'm worried about the fact that the world is a homophobic place. Let's be honest, there's 69 countries where it's illegal to be gay. There's 11 where it's punishable by death. And now we brought a little girl into one. What if she walks around with some sort of generational shame because I'm her mum? What can we do to make sure that she's happy in the mix? I was so unhappy when I was little because I didn't know who I was and what if she feels like that as well. What can I do? What can one person do to make sure that she's happier than me? All right, that's it, night-night. And then... And then what I do is I tuck Alice under my pillow. And in her dreams, she questions her life choices. People are very interested about how we've had a baby. People are very interested. People ask questions. I think that's rude. There'll be people in this room, gay, straight, somewhere in between, similar to Alice and I, might not have had a plain sailing to becoming a parent. You know, ups and downs. It can be really, really tough. It can be really sad. It can be very, very stressful. And I think it's very rude when people that don't know you come up and just ask you. I don't think it's happening to my straight friends. I don't think they're wandering down the street with a baby in the pram and a stranger comes up to them and goes, how'd you do this from behind? But for some unknown reason, people seem to think it's okay to ask us. We're in a posh cafe in South East London. The kind of place where you can get a couple of coffees and a bit of cake for about £4 grand. Right, one of them. We're queuing, okay, me and my wife and our little girl. And there's a lady behind us who is smiling at us in a way to let us know that she is totally fine about gay people having kids. She's a liberal Linda. She doesn't mind it one bit, okay? She's just smiling at us like this. Eventually she goes, your baby's lovely. That's a nice thing to say. I said, thank you very much. We go and sit down. For some unknown reason, she comes and joins us. Okay? And it's not like a long table. It is a 4-seater, and she has just taken the 4th seat. And she's smiling at us and nodding. And eventually she goes, my cousin's gay. So, oh, we don't all know each other. Quite a lot of us these days. She goes, he doesn't have a baby, but he does have a labradoodle. It's like, that's not the same, but cool. And starts asking us all these questions. So how did you do maternity? And I was like, oh, well, Alice had a year off and I'm freelance, so I just took off as much time as I wanted. She's like, oh, great. Really, really good, really good. And you know, at home, you know, is one of you stricter? You know, does one of you have to do all the dad stuff? I was like, oh, yeah, I know. I was like, I don't know what that means. I said, you know, we just try our best all of the time. We hope that she's a happy little girl in the world. And she goes, oh, no, I totally agree. Just so you know, I totally agree. And then she gets to what she really wants to ask. She goes, I hope you don't mind me asking. And I thought, I bet I fucking will. She goes, my friend Philippa's thinking about having a baby by herself. And she's thinking about using a sperm bank in Denmark. And your daughter is so lovely. I was just wondering, did you use the sperm bank in Denmark? Then she stopped. So I can only assume what happened. Her brain and her mouth got into sync. And she had a moment of clarity. She realised she had wandered up to a couple of lezers with a baby in a nice cafe in South East London and has basically gone, Bab, where'd you get the jizz? She realised what she was doing. And then, and I've only seen very posh people do this, she started to rewind in real time. She started going, you allowed to ask, you allowed to ask, ask questions anymore. I'm going to get in trouble for asking questions. I was just wondering, is he going to ask? I was just wondering, where did you get the sperm? I thought, how dare you? How dare you think that I have to validate my family to you? How dare you? Just because you're a gay cousin with a labradoodle, it's 2024. We've all got a gay cousin with a labradoodle. Except for me, I've actually got a straight cousin with a gay labradoodle, but I haven't got time for that story tonight. So when she said to me, where did you get the sperm? It was so early and I was so cross that I just went, your husband. Long story short, we've had to move. We moved to Brighton, there's a lot of my lot down there. Yeah, hit 35, have a baby, get a dry robe, run into the sea once a week to feel something. That's me. But they're still idiots. Still bump into idiots wherever you are, don't you? We were at a children's birthday party a little while ago. We were the only gay family there, and I was chatting to this dad, and he was a real geezer dad. Real fucking geezer dad. And had a little boy that was real fucking geezer as well, right? Now, I've got a soft spot for a geezer dad. I love a geezer dad because I've got a geezer dad. My dad's a real blokey bloke. My dad's the kind of man that can only write in capital letters, you know them? Means no matter what he writes, it looks aggressive. Just like, happy birthday, love dad! No. In crayon, that's my dad, right? And I've got to be very careful with this bit. I've got to be very, very careful because I don't want anyone in the room to think I'm having a go, okay? I want the straight people in the room to know that you are very, very welcome here, okay? I think that what you do is amazing. I think you should be exactly who you are. I think love is love. I think love is love. I think whoever you want to be with, you should be with. I think in the privacy of your own home, because I don't want to see it, I don't want to fucking see it. And I love straight culture, straight mates, I love your culture. Yum, 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 yum. I love your culture. White bread, trainer socks, seeing Mr. Brightside at karaoke. I love it. I love it. So I'm not knocking the straight people. At the show in Manchester, a man walked out after that bit. Fragile masculinity. But he points to my little girl, this geezer dad points to my little girl and goes, reckon she'll be gay? I said, I don't know, she's 3. He went, 'cause of you. Like, yeah, I got why you were asking. I didn't think you'd come to a toddler's party to try and out 3-year-olds. So on the crafting table, is he? Bender? Like, I'm going to assume that's not happening. Now, the working class part of me, when someone says something like that, I want to have a row. I want to have a row. But I've become middle class now, so I can't do that. So in those scenarios, I find the best thing to do is tell him a lie, make him look stupid at a future date. So I told him that she wouldn't be gay, because it's like twins and it skips a generation. And he believed me. So it's a win for me. Now, I asked before if people have children. Give me a cheer, anyone with a toddler? Oh, there's quite a few of us tonight. How you doing? That told us everything, didn't it? That told us everything. My daughter is now 3 and everyone refers to her as the baby. The baby. The baby. Because the last baby in the family was me. So everyone is delighted there's a new baby. But I love it because it sort of makes her sound like she's a gangster. Like, watch out, the baby's coming, look busy, fucking hell, the baby's coming, look busy. When we first moved down to Brighton, it was in the summer last year, and we bought a little paddling pool to put in our garden. We've only got a little garden. We put the paddling pool out there, and it took up most of it. And she spent the whole day just walking around it. She didn't want to get in it, just wanted to walk around it, like, yeah, that's my fucking pool. Just walking around it. And all she would wear was a little pair of red knickers. She had a little chubby belly, and her hair slicked back with sweat. She looked like Ray Winston in Sexy Beast. When we first moved there, she was 2. Anyone got a 2-year-old? Yeah. Hello, how are you? Yeah, tired, babe. Oh, I know, I feel it. And now, is your 2-year-old, are they currently very into sort of touching everything, putting everything in their mouth? Yeah, see, when we moved to Brighton, that was where we were. They go through this stage where they're just putting everything in their mouth, touching everything. So we had to baby-proof the house. Okay, so we had to put them things in the plugs. We had to put this thing in the drawer, which meant I couldn't open the drawer. She's like, Alice, I need a fork. Don't worry, I'll use my hands. We made most of the house baby-proof, but there's some things you can't baby-proof. We learnt this. We're in the lounge. Our cat comes in. Yes, I've got a cat. Kelsa Priest. And our cat did one of those massive cat stretches. You know, one of those ones? And right at the end, she put her tail up like that. And at that moment, the baby spied the cat's arsehole. And let me tell you, she was utterly fascinated by it. She'd never seen one before. It is something to say. It's just sort of moving and flinching, which meant most days were spent with me, following little Ray Winston, following the cat, while I go, don't touch his bum! Don't touch the cat's bum! Do not touch the cat's bum! While she went, bam bam, no touch! Bam bam, no touch! Bam bam, no touch! I don't know why she had that accent. We didn't teach it, we didn't encourage it, but for about 2 months she sounded Italian. We didn't know why. Bam bam, not touch. That's right. Don't touch the cat's bum. Bin, not touch. That's right. Don't touch the bin. It's a stinky bin, you don't touch the bin. That's right. There's one other thing she wasn't allowed to touch. She would call it the little buttons. It is the little buttons, the little buttons. It was the 3 buttons on top of the skybox. I would say to her, don't touch the little buttons. Me, not touch, little buttons. That's right. Because if you touch the little buttons, there'll be no Gruffalo. Touch little buttons, Gruffalo, he gone. That's right. Don't, no, please, niente, no, nada. And then I left the room. But because she was 2, she had no impulse control. So she was like, I gotta touch those little buttons. I tell you, I have to touch the little buttons. She touched little buttons, fucked up the skybox. Next thing that happened, I'm not proud of this, but this is the truth. I think part of being a stand-up is me telling you the truth of what happened. She fucked up the skybox, and I had to bring a man to fix it. I'm not happy about that as a feminist. I didn't ask for them to send a fella, but they sent a fella, and fair play to him, he did fix it. Okay. He knocked on the door, she let him in. Why wouldn't she? She owns the place. Come, mama, make him a cup of tea. He's got heavy bag, big boots. Is this offensive? I can't work it out. So... we've got a TV cabinet, right? And he gets in our TV cabinet, he's pulling things out, pushing things in, playing with the remote, pulling things out, pushing things in. She's just watching. Threatening. And after a little while, she thinks, yeah, sod it, I'll get in as well. So she gets in with him. He does not realise this. And then she gets closer and closer and closer to him until she whispers in his ear, bam, bam, not touch. It made him jump. I then had a stranger running towards me going, I wasn't trying to touch a kid's ass. To which I had to go, oh, don't worry, that's just something she says. She's obsessed with our cat's ring piece. Basically, I'm now worried I'm doing bad PR for gay mums. It's a fear. It's a fear. But we're at the tantrum stage. At the minute, that's what we're in. We're in the tantrum stage. We're in the thick of it. She's got a lot of feelings. She's got a lot of feelings. She's got a lot of emotions. She's very angry about a lot of things. A lot of it's shit. She gets angry, she gets furious, and she really knows her own mind. I wanted a feminist, but not this young. Okay? She really knows her own mind. But before I tell you about her tantrums, I do need to say one thing. Okay? When I realised I was gay, when I was sure of it, I was probably about 14. And when I realised, I sort of thought, I guess being a mum is something that I can't do. Now, it's worth pointing out, there were people being mums, absolutely, and dads being dads, but it wasn't celebrated, it certainly wasn't in the media, it wasn't on TV, so I didn't know that I could be a mum. I didn't know that it was possible for me to be out and be a mum. So the fact that she is my daughter is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. The fact that I get to be her mum has been sort of a surprise, and it is the most wonderful thing in my life. I love her more than I knew I could love another person. She has enriched my life beyond belief. Not financially, she's a fucking drain. But you need to know that before I tell you about what she's having a nightmare about at the moment. Right, I've made a little list. This is just in the last week to share with you tonight. Okay, here's the reasons that she's had tantrums just in the last few days. I wouldn't let her lick bird poo. I didn't have Moana's phone number. I wouldn't let her take the frying pan to nursery. The waffle was too hot. 10 minutes later, the same waffle, too cold. And I wouldn't let her put the cat in the oven, okay? Here's the thing, I will be honest with you, parenting is harder than I thought it would be. That's the truth, it is harder than I thought it would be. Okay, and I've done hard stuff. I once had to mime that I had cystitis in a pharmacy in Calcutta, okay? I've experienced, I got some tablets, you've got to travel. But I feel like I've told you too much. She had a really big tantrum the other day. We were in a Robert Dyer's, okay? We're in a Robert Dyer's and we're queuing up, right? About a month before Christmas, we're queuing up. She sees something at the till point. They got all the bits they're flogging at the till point. And she points at it and goes, I want that! And I said, no, darling, you're not having it. She goes, I want it! I said, no, darling, you're not having it. It's not Christmas yet, it's not your birthday, you're not having it. She goes, I want it, I want it, I want it! It was an air fryer. Like, she's 3, but she's right on the zeitgeist, you know, she knows what's on trend. But you've got to stay firm. You can't give in to them. You know, so I said to her, look, darling, you're not having it. Okay, you're not having it, it's not happening. Throws herself on the floor in a shop. Everyone's looking, I want it, I want it, I want it. Now, in those scenarios, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to gently parent them out of their tantrum. Just gently parent them out of their tantrum. So I had a little go at gently parenting her out of her tantrum. Darling, I know that you feel like this, and I love you so much. It doesn't matter how much you scream and shout. I love you to bits. I will always love you. It doesn't matter how angry you get, but you are not having that today. You're not having it, but I do love you. Mama loves you so much. Mummy loves you so much. You are so loved, but you can't just scream and get what you want. That's not how it works. Obviously, I don't want to do that. I want to go, get up, making me like a fucking prick. But you can't do that, because that's not gentle parenting. You can't do that. You certainly can't do that in a Robert Dyers in Hove. In a B&Q in Portsmouth, you'd get away with it, but in a Robert Dyers in Hove, absolutely not. The next thing you're supposed to do, you're meant to get on their level. So I did it. I said, I wasn't wearing these boots. I said to her, try a new tact, right? If you can tell me what it is, you can have it. She said, I don't know what it is, but I want it! And I relate to that. It's how I feel every time I'm in an Urban Outfitters. Is it a hat? Is it a cardigan? Do you put a plant in it and hang it from the ceiling? Fuck it, I'll have 4. There's things that have come up for me that I wasn't expecting in parenting. Things that I find hard, things that I find harder. I'm severely dyslexic, and I think my dyslexia has got worse. My partner Alice hasn't been the biggest support. No. My wife has started spelling to me what we're doing with our afternoon. Even though she knows how bad my dyslexia is. She'll be like, oh, after her NAP, we'll go to the PARK. Like, I ain't got a fucking clue, let's go, Vorderman. Before Christmas, Alice told me a few things to go and get her. A few days before Christmas, a few things to get her to put in her stocking. As I was leaving, she spelt Elsa doll. She did not get an Elsa doll, she got an easel. Now, I am well aware that sounds like a gag that I've written. I know there'll be people here going, you're on sleep, you swap the letters around to prove you're dyslexic. I want you all to know that is a genuine row between me and my wife that happened on the 23rd of December, and I've decided that by talking about it on stage, I have made the easel tax deductible. Pretty clever. We had our first family holiday this year, and I'm very, very lucky to have had a family holiday. Not a fucking holiday though, is it? Oh, she was livid the whole time. Not with my wife, just with me. Absolutely furious the whole time. I was doing everything wrong. She had a lot of feedback, constant reviews. It's like I was at the Edinburgh Festival. It was awful. See, I did everything wrong. You're cutting up my dinner wrong. You're putting on my cosy wrong. You're doing my hair wrong. I thought, fucking hell, you got a lot of confidence. Someone that can't wipe their own arse, haven't you? She's only happy for 1 hour every day, and that's because there was a disco between 6 and 7. Every day she was there, 5 to 6, like, let's go, let's have some music, let's get the big tunes on, let's have it large. She'd be there just, Baby Shark, yeah, fucking love this one. She looked like she was on day 13 of Glastonbury, having the time of her life. I started calling out Arsey Bustle, she hated that. I had no idea how hard it would be. I took 3 books and a chess set. And I can't play chess. I thought I'd have such an abundance of time that I would be able to learn how to play chess. At one point I said to her, you do realise this is Mama's holiday as well? She went, is it? I thought, no. It's not. One night I lay there, Alice one side, she was the other. I Googled, what age do they get empathy? Not quick enough to save the holiday, that's what I learned. I'll tell you, the main thing we were missing was my mum. My mum is an incredible nan, and she loves being a nan, and she's brilliant with kids. Oh, I will just tell you this. Mum rang me today about my show. She went, oh, Suze, have a good one tonight. You break a neck. What? I'm sorry, what? How many does this woman think I have? But she... I went, do you mean legs? She went, yeah. Oh, it didn't make me laugh. But she's an amazing nanny, and she didn't work when I was a kid, so she was a stay-at-home mum. That's a new anxiety, you know. Oh God, should I be a stay-at-home mum? I think I'll kill myself. I'll be so bored. But mum's amazing. She's amazing, and my daughter thinks nanny's better at playing. Mum's amazing at playing. They create these little words together, and she'll be like, "Oh, nanny's better at doing this. Nanny's better at doing shops." Like, yeah, of course Nanny's better at doing shops. It's the only shift she's got this week. You know, she's there, she's got a pair of glasses, a little handbag. It's like Daniel Day-Lewis is in the room. It's fucking incredible. Full method. She's been nominated for a BAFTA. We're very proud. We're very, very proud. When we knew she was on her way, we started reading the parenting books. And one of the parenting books, it said, before beginning your parenting journey, that's how I read it. Before beginning your parenting journey, it's great to think about your parents' parenting style. It's like, I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. My parents' parenting style was love it, feed it, and if you're going to have a fag, open the window. That was their style. Been trying to work out what my geezer dad's parenting style is. I've worked out it's jokes and bollocking. A little joke, a little bit of bollocking. When I was 10, he dared me to eat a teaspoon of Coleman's mustard. You know the radioactive yellow stuff? I love a dare, popped it in my trap, it burnt like fuck, I cried, him and Mum had a row, he bollocked me. Mum's parenting style's the opposite. She was on me, she was doing everything with me when I was a kid, and I'm lucky for that, I'm not knocking that. She was the mum that would always come on the school trips. Even when she wasn't that interested, she'd come. The first one she came on was, we were in sort of maybe year 1, and we went to a place called Fishbourne Roman Palace. Yeah, a few people have been, there's a load of Roman stuff. Load of Roman stuff, mosaics and that. I mean, it'd been nice if they'd finished them. But here we are. And the lady that was taking us around, and looking back now as an adult, I can see that this lady was probably a volunteer. She was there out of the goodness of her heart, you know, amazing. She was showing us around, and she loved the Romans. She loved the Romans. She was gay for the Romans. She loved their Romans. And she was taking us around trying to impart her love of the Romans onto us. She was going, children, do you realise, children, how old these mosaics are? Do you realise how old these mosaics are? And we were all like, no, I'm 6. I ain't really got time yet. They just would have taken us to a Tops Tiles. Been like, these tiles were made a year ago. We were like, I was 5 then. And a boy in my class, that very childlike thing, going, oh, Mrs. is boring, Mrs. is so boring, this is so boring, miss. And the teacher, if there's any teachers in, you will have pretended to be interested about something you're not. She had to go, well, I think it's very interesting, actually. I think it's very, very interesting. And then turned to my mum and went, Mrs. Ruffell, you think it's interesting, don't you? And my mum went, no, I think it's quite boring. So I don't know what her parenting style is. My dad would do anything for that kid. He's so thrilled to be a granddad. He'd do anything. He would do anything for that baby. As long as it doesn't require turning off the telly. He'll do anything. They watch TV together. Most kids' favourite shows will be like Bluey, Mr. Tumble, Bing. Her favourite show, Ice Road Truckers. She's like, Grandpa, I'm not sure it's going to make it around the corner. What do you think? It's got this heavy load. Is it going to make it? I'm not sure. Is it offensive? Still don't know. He doesn't watch appropriate programmes for a child, though. He doesn't. It's not porn. But he doesn't watch appropriate programmes. His favourite channel is a channel called Crime and Investigation. Yeah, some fans in. It's the murder channel. It's a murder channel. Murder, 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 every day. That's the schedule, every single day. Murder, 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 murder. The vehicles of the Nazis. Murder, 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 murder. Every single day. And I say to him, Dad, you can't watch that when she's here. He goes, oh, don't be daft. I said, Dad, you can't. They've got one show called I Married My Murderer. That can't be a first-hand account, can it? So you can't watch it when she's here. He goes, don't be daft. I said, she might hear something, she might see something, it might frighten her, please. Even in the background, don't have it on when she's here. His response, don't worry, Suze, it's not like they're ever positive about the killers. Well, that wasn't my concern. I didn't think you were watching a show called He Had a Point. Like, I used to really judge him. When I was 15 and I thought I knew everything, I'd really judge him for watching that channel. Be like, oh, Dad, I can't believe you watch that. I think it's disgusting. I think the fact that you get entertainment out of the worst day of a family's life is really gross. And the fact that you see like these crime scene pictures, I think it's disgusting. And the fact that it's gory and you hear all about it, I think it's disgusting. And do you know what, Dad? Actually, I really judge you. And then I grew up. And podcasts became a thing. And then on my way to this gig tonight, I was like, and then the body was found 6 weeks later. Like, oh, time to be funny. Now I've disassociated. Quite often when I go home to see Mum and Dad, me and my dad will go for a little drive. We'll go for a little drive and we'll talk about our feelings whilst both staring directly ahead. A little while ago, we're going for a drive, right? He starts telling me a story. I've got a cousin called Nicola. Her kids are grown up now and she's going travelling, right? She's travelling all over the place. At the minute, she's in Australia. And she's got a little one-bed flat in Portsmouth and she rents it out. Now, the people that have been renting it from her haven't paid rent for 8 months. They've been wrong, they've changed the number, they've been sent loads and loads of letters, nothing. So then Dad turns to me and goes, so we're going round there. It's like, what? Are we the heavies in this scenario? What? And to give you some context, he is a 68-year-old man with quite severe type 2 diabetes, and I am a theatrical lesbian. What does he think we're going to do? It's like, yeah, Dad, you stab him with your insulin needles while I sing I Dreamed a Dream. Like, I don't think we're as frightening as you think we are. But we go round there. Knock on the door, there's no answer. We look through the letterbox, all their stuff's still in there. They've been told if they don't move out, all their stuff will be moved downstairs to the communal garage. We try the key, they've changed the locks. Yeah, right. Dad is livid. Someone's getting bollocked. And I'm standing next to him. At that point, the lady that lives next door pokes her head out. I later find out her name is Doris. She's in her late 80s, and she is hammered. Absolutely smashed. Okay. She opens the door, she goes, what are you used to doing? So this is my cousin's flat. People that live here haven't paid rent for 8 months. Oh, and we can't get hold of them. And she goes, oh, that's terrible. That is really, really bad. I probably shouldn't do this. But I got a key. No, you definitely shouldn't do this, Doris, but give us that key. So we go in, all their stuff's still in there. Then me and Dad start moving the stuff downstairs. I work in removals now and all. It's moving the stuff up and down the stairs. We do 3 loads of it. After the 3rd load, Dad walks into the flat, looks out the window and goes, phew, isn't this low for the 2nd floor? This happened in my life. In my real life, IRL, this happened. That's when Doris goes, well, that's This is the first floor. It's at this point we realise we are robbing Doris's neighbours with Doris as both our accomplice and our witness. So me and Dad start moving all the stuff back upstairs, put it in, shut the door, chuck Doris the keys, nip upstairs, the flat's empty, fucking great. We get in the car, we start driving away, and we really start shitting ourselves. We're like, oh my God, what about if she tells someone? What about if she knows someone that can put it on social media? What about if she rings the local newspaper? I don't want to sound like a prick, but I've just done Jonathan Ross. Are you fucking kidding me, Dad? Now, you've got to appreciate, at this point, me and Dad aren't thinking straight. We're not on our right minds, right? We're not on our right minds. And in that moment, we decide the best thing to do, nip back, give Doris 50 quid. Right? 50 quid, keep your chap shut, have a pinky. Right? We nip back, I give Doris 50 quid. She can't remember any of it. She hasn't got a clue who I am, but she happily takes the money. Me and Dad get back in the car, we start driving away, we go through, how did that end up happening? How do we not realise we went on so somehow he manages to bollock me. But that's not the end of it. That happened 6 months ago. 4 months ago, I did this tour show in Portsmouth. And let's be honest, a bit of a misstep from me to include that routine. Did it fine. Afterwards, a lady was waiting for me at the stage door. She said, hello, Suzi. I said, hello. She said, I liked your show. I said, thanks very much. She said, I just thought I'd let you know I've got an auntie that lives next to a lady in her 80s called Doris, who is a part-time alcoholic. I said, well, I think we got a problem. She said, no, we haven't. Just wanted to let you know that for the past 2 months, my auntie has been convinced she's got a poltergeist. Yes, that happened. I rang up the auntie, I sent her some flowers, and she told me I could do it in my special. So thank you very much, Barbara in Portsmouth. Ridiculous. I did the show in Sheffield, right? I don't know anyone in Sheffield. I did the show in Sheffield. A woman right at the back of the theatre stood up and went, I met your dad, I can fucking believe that. So it's nice to know words travelling. I'm basically just trying to get ahead of the story, if I'm honest. Now, we lean a lot on my mum and dad, we really do, and they're amazing. And I'm one of the only people in my close friendship group to have a kid. Only 1 or 2 of us have got children. A lot of my friends don't want children. A lot of them are very happily child-free. And this is the case for one of my best friends. One of my best friends is a fellow stand-up. You'll certainly be aware of him. His name's Tom Allen. He's absolutely brilliant. He's wonderful. And yeah, you can with him. And he is here, so give it a bit more. Not too much. I can hear you. I know you'll laugh. Hello, love. But my daughter has a really lovely bond with him. She calls him Uncle Pom Pom, okay, which weirdly suits him more than Tom. And last year, Tom bought a lovely house, and he was having a big pride party, and he rang me and said, Suze, do you want to come to this party? It's mainly just the boys that are coming, but why don't you come, bring Alice, bring the baby, we'd all love to see her. I said, babe, I will be there. And you can imagine, Tom has done the house up beautiful. There's big rainbow flags everywhere, there's huge bouquets in the garden, there is a gorgeous spread, and you know the type of spread that only a gay man can do? You know, not like that, come on. Come on, not like that. There's a gorgeous gay spread over here. Lovely sandwiches, picky bits, beige, you know. And we get to Tom's house. We've put my daughter in a little rainbow dress. She looks adorable. And we knock on the door. Tom opens it. She walks in the house like she owns it. Let me tell you, I wish she did. It's fucking lovely. Right? Walks in the house like she owns it. Walks straight out into the garden, into just a sea of gay men. And it's at that point, in real time, that I learn that she can't say flag. So now I'm worried I've got a homophobe. Tom clutched his pearls, we had to leave. And for any of you that go and see Tom's brilliant show this year, he also sometimes tells that story, and you can now know that it's my fucking baby. So it's a bit of fun for everyone, isn't it? A bit of fun for everyone. I feel very lucky nowadays. I've got really lovely friends. And I feel very, very lucky for that, because I grew up without many friends at all, really. I found making friends at school very, very difficult. And I think it's because I was hiding who I was. I couldn't really be myself. I was always on edge. I was worried that people were going to find out something about me. So I never really had any mates. But don't worry, there's not been any sort of lasting damage. It's not like I've got to go on stage 5 times a week to make strangers laugh, to make me feel full. It's not like that. Once a week, it's not like that. You don't need to worry. But there was one girl at school that picked on me every single day. She picked on me every day. Now, I mentioned before, I know I'm not a super famous person, I've got a low level of fame, but occasionally I pop up on the telly. And every single time I pop up on the telly, this girl that picked on me the whole way through school slides into my DMs. Like, oh, hi, Suze, how are you doing? Great to see how well you're doing. I saw you on Mastermind last night. Well done. Oh, my God, next time you're in Portsmouth, me and you, we should go for a drink. Like, yeah, we should. It'll be arsenic. She was horrible to me. But now, because she's started following me, I've started following her. And apparently when you follow someone you don't like, it's called hate following. Everyone that's just laughed are the bitches in the room. They've just really outed themselves. Hey, that one that clapped is the queen bitch. No, don't worry, I'm not knocking you, I'm doing it too, okay? It's not big, it's not clever, okay? But it means when you just go on their page occasionally just to go, I fucking hate you. Done up your lounge, have you? Grey, is it? Living, laughing, loving. Are ya? Sailing Dunelm, was there? You know, bitchy. But I've now become slightly obsessed by her life. It's not grown up. This isn't a suggestion. Don't do this. I'm just telling you what I've done. A lot of her posts are about her husband, about how wonderful he is. She's got this wonderful husband. And it's not because they're straight. Like, I love straight people. You heard that before. Mum and Dad are straight. I love straight people. And honestly, some of my best friends are bisexual, so I do love straight people. But she put up these pictures of her husband, all in black and white, being like, he's the salt to my pepper. He's the bread to my butter. He's my light in the darkness. He's my husband. And I know it's not going as well as she's pretending, because I know that last year in Ibiza she gave a waiter a blowy. So I know it's not going as well as she's pretending. Sure, I shouldn't have written underneath, but she shouldn't have started the nickname Rough Muff while I was still a virgin. We learn, don't we? We learn, Lacey. I shouldn't say her name, we're recording this. Can't like that. I obviously didn't write it underneath. I'm not that brave. I did the classy thing. I screen grabbed it and popped it in a WhatsApp group. I did the classy thing. But she constantly tries to virtue signal. Now, I'm not talking about people sharing important information that we all need to learn about. She is constantly wanting to tell people that she is a good person, because she is the devil. She's constantly trying to tell people that she's a great person. What are the ways that she does this? And I've got to be very careful with this material, because my audience are always lovely people, so I mean it with love. But she needs to let everyone know that her pet's are from a rescue centre. I'm just going to say one thing. Once you've rescued your dog, it's just your fucking dog. You don't need to refer to it as a rescue dog. It's just a dog. It's your dog now. You've rescued it. Well done. We're all very proud. She does the same about her cats. Look at my cats. Look at my adopted cats. Look at my little adopted cats. I adopted all of them. If I hadn't adopted these cats, they'll be out on the Edgware Road turning tricks. Look, I adopted these cats. All cats are adopted. Even if you paid for your cat, you adopted your fucking cat. No one is birthing cats. No one's having a litter of cats. If you are, leave this show, go to the Natural History Museum, it's just down the road. But virtue signalling isn't the worst of social media. I saw some of the worst of social media a little while ago, and this bit's quite awkward because it was from a family member. Now, my mum's asked me not to do this bit, but we're here, she's not, fuck it. I've got a cousin called Danny, he's a conspiracy theorist, and he is deep in QAnon stuff. He thinks that Donald Trump is still the president. He also has started believing that the world is flat. This all began for him during the pandemic. He was very, very, very anti-vax. From the get-go, he was very, very anti-vax. Now, I was very pro-vax. I'm not interested in other people's statuses. I'm just letting you know I was very, very, very pro-vax. So I was willing to believe, that doctors, nurses, immunologists, people who spent their whole lives studying medicine knew more than me. Me, who has 4 GCSEs, a worry doll, and an AS level in contemporary dance. Yes, no, don't. It's useless. Can't go into a vaccine centre and go, this is all very well, but have you tried this? You have? Please, continue. I was bang up for the vaccine. I was first in the queue. Well, I wasn't first. It wasn't like, fuck off, therefore you've had your time. No, I thought... You know. When they called me, I went, that's what I'm saying. When they called me, I went. I went down to the vaccine centre. So we still lived in South London. I went to Lewisham. I had my jab, and the next day I put it up on Facebook. I said, look, if you're worried about going, I went to Lewisham, it was great, it was so well organised, all the volunteers were fantastic, the doctors and the nurses there, brilliant. It was all very safe, it was distanced, everyone was masked up. I've got my jab, I feel absolutely fine, you know, thank God for science, you know, and I don't know if that's an oxymoron. But here we are. And I posted it, and Danny got in touch. The thing is, Suze, all in caps, the thing is, Suze, do you know what's in it? Do you know what's in it? And I was like, no. But I don't know what's in any medicine I've ever had. Because I don't know most things. Don't come to me for the answers, I ain't got them. I don't know how I'm talking into this. And it's coming out of that. Don't understand that. Don't know how the internet's. Through the air, what is this witchcraft? I don't know how the telly gets on the telly. When I'm on the telly, I look at it and go, how'd you get in there? I don't understand it. I don't know how them lights are working. I don't know how those lights are working. I know that for an afternoon in primary school, the teacher gave us a potato and a fork and it charged a battery. So I can only assume hidden round the room, there's a load of Jackie P's keeping these boys on. I understand it. Danny was one of those people that was doing his own research. He was doing his own research. I'm doing my own research, Suze, I'm doing my own research. Thought, fucking hell, I can't wait to find out what a part-time scaffolder with a cocaine problem in a basement flat in Portsmouth finds out that the World Health Organisation has missed. But as soon as you got your data, drop me a text, you dozy prick. People are awful on the internet. People are terrible on the internet. A little while ago, a man got in touch with me to send me 14 pictures of his penis. I'll say the thing we're all thinking. 14's a weird number. To me, that feels like a shoot. You know, we've taken these pictures, we're taking it to the client for their opinion. My opinion, no, I don't love it. Not for me. Not for me. Now, I don't know much about willies. I don't have much experience with willies. I was straight for a month when I was 18. I haven't got the wrists. But is it fair to say, people that are au fait with the cock of van, is it fair to say that the happier a penis is, ooh, the more furious it looks? Is it fair to say that? Oh, it was happy, but it looked cross. It looked really cross. Just staring at me through the laptop like that. And so I put on some women's drawers, some like frilly knickers, right? I thought, that's fine, you know, if you want to do that, go for it, mate, I don't need to see it. But then what he did was he popped his angry pork sword out the side of it, then just draped the lace over the top. It looked like an old lady looking around some net curtains. Just... That image will stay with you, I am ever so sorry. My dad referred to that bit as a bit much, which I think we can all agree is quite fair. I scrolled down, I realised he'd sent me a message as well. I thought, oh, an artist and a writer, what a coup. He said, hi, Suze, which I thought was a very casual way to start an online harassment. I hope you like these photos, if not, no wuzzers. So Hush! Some wuzzers, you fucking creepy bastards. Some wuzzers. Some wuzzers. So many wuzzers, mate. So many wuzzers. But then what happened is that he must have been able to see that I had seen it. It must have seen underneath. And then he logged on and he sent me a little thumbs up. And I'm going to tell you, Bloomsbury, to me, that was the creepiest bit. Because that tells me he has done that and then had no shame. There are people walking through this life. No shame. I think that is terrifying. I have got so much shame. I've got so much shame, and I have never sent anyone a picture of a Jack and Danny. Okay, I don't even know how you get the angles. I've got so much shame. I wake up in the middle of the night sometimes with shame. I call it my 3 a.m. press conference. It's when all the voices in my head meet up at the same time to go, "You're a prick." Just remind me of something embarrassing I've done throughout my life. Woke me up the other day with an online embarrassment that I did years ago. About 8 years ago, I had a terrible breakup. It was really bad, right? And I don't want to be one of those comedians that's like, let me tell you how it is, let me tell you. But let me tell you, I was doing #self-care before we all knew about self-care. Okay, I was a very early adopter of the self-care movement. I'd been dumped, and I decided the best thing to do would be for me to drink a bottle of red, smoke a pack of fags, and do a deep dive onto her Facebook for her and the boy she left me for. Self-care, okay? And I'm just going through the pictures. Oh, that's clearer. And in my drunkenness, I accidentally tagged myself in a picture of her and her new boyfriend as the candle on the table. Like I was Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast, just hey! Remember me? You've ruined my life. I'm still having shame shudders about that, and he's sending people pictures of his dick and then a thumbs up. It worries me. It worries me about the fact that one day my daughter will be old enough to have a social media account. And it might not be all the ones that we're using at the minute, but there'll probably be something. And it worries me. It really frightens me. I am so relieved that when I was growing up, I didn't have to contend with social media. I had such a tough time all day at school. If I then had to go home and worry about how much likes a photo got, I think I would have lost my mind. I really think I would have lost my mind because I wasn't cool at school. Never got a gasp, done the show 75 times. Thanks, Bloomsbury. And I wasn't cool. I wasn't cool at school, but I did do one cool thing. I did one cool thing. I went to see Destiny's Child. Oh, not such a loser now, am I? Mum got me tickets to see Destiny's Child for me and my one friend. When she gave them to me, she said, "Suze, this is your first present, your second present. Tonight, after school, I'm taking you to Tammy Girl, and you can have whatever you want." Yeah, pretty cool. Okay, to wear to the concert, right? I saw it across the room as soon as I entered. Now, this will make sense to maybe 7 people, but this is really for you, okay? The Survivor video had just come out, so I knew I needed denim. You remember. I saw it across the room. Denim, catsuit. With a zip all the way up the front, okay? My titties were even smaller than they are now, so it was just rib. Just some lovely rib, okay? Mum said to me, "Suze, don't wear that. Don't wear that. Save it for best. Save it for the concert." So I went upstairs, save it for best. The trouble was, my birthday's in January. The concert was in August, right? 8 months rolls around. I had a teenage growth spurt. The night before, Mum says, "Go and put it on, let's see how you look." It had divorced my ankles, married my knees, and I had a camel toe that was catching in the back of my throat, okay? Right? Denim is an unforgiving fabric, let me tell you. My mother in her infinite wisdom said, don't you worry, my baby. I have got some brown leather fringing upstairs. I'll just pop that round the bottom. I went to Wembley looking like a Shire horse. A Shire horse with a camel toe. Do you know how relieved I am I didn't have to try and get likes on that photo? But it's not changed. I'm still that person. I still constantly make a fool of myself. I accidentally pretend to be Northern Irish. I bow at Sandy Toksvig. I'm always making a fool of myself. A little while ago I did it again. Now I'm about to drop a name, so get out your Dyson. A little while ago Alan Carr rang me. He said, Suze, do you want to come to the All Saints reunion tour? Okay. The sheer thought of the All Saints reunion tour, I was in camo and a crop top. I don't know how it happened, okay? Don't know how it happened, thank God for science, right? And we go to Coco in Camden, right? And it's the first time All Saints have been on stage in 20 years, right? And because I'm with Alan Carr, we're in the VIP section. I'm a VIP, baby. The lights go down, and the girls come out on stage, just a few questions that I need to know. How you could ever happen. I need to know what I've done, and how that it's been going. Ooh, I'm there. I am there. And I look across, and I see that 3 people down from me is mumsy. And I realised that during the first song. So that meant the rest of the concert, I couldn't forget about it. The concert finishes, and I say to Alan, Mumsy's over there. And he goes, oh, I know Mel. And I was like, what? He said, do you want to say hello? I was like, yeah. So he took me over and he was like, oh, hi, Mel. This is Susie. She's a stand-up comedian. And Susie, this is Mel. She's a Spice Girl. Mel, super friendly, goes, oh, hi, Susie. Nice to meet you. How you doing? And I go, and Alan and Mel are just looking at me, and I, first time in my life, completely rendered speechless. I didn't know what to do. I couldn't like, Susie, say something. Say anything. Bike pump. Oh, God. Say something. Say anything. So in the end, I went with, you mean a lot to me, you always will. Really creepy. Really, really creepy. And Alan just went, oh, she's gone weird, I'll take her away. Put me in a cab, I ran home, woke up Alice. Alice, I've got a new fear, I've terrified a Spice Girl. My amazing partner, Alice, is very supportive. And I think it's quite tough being with someone who has, some days, quite severe anxiety. And last year, before Christmas just gone, she bought me lots of things to try and help me relax, to help me chill out, because she said, it would be nice if we could all have a good Christmas. And she said it came out wrong, but I don't think it did. So when I got my hair done, had a little massage, when I got my nails done, and the girl that was doing my nails does Alice's nails every 2 weeks, right? She's doing my nails, and she says, so you busy up till Christmas? I said, yeah, really busy till Christmas, and then it's a bit dead in January and February, and then it picks up again in March. And she goes, oh, I didn't realise what you did was seasonal. I was like, oh, no, it's not seasonal. People are just more up for it in March. She went, oh. And she said, do you have to take anything special with you? I said, no, not really. I thought I won't tell her about the doll. It feels weird out of context. She said, do you take a special light? I said, no, most of the places I go have their own lights. And their own Jackie P's, I assume. And then she says, is it frightening? And I said, well, it's not frightening, but I do always get nervous tonight. I was very nervous. I always get nervous because I want to put on a good show, but not frightening as such. She said, what about the first time? I said, oh, yeah, the first time it was quite frightening. She said, where did it happen? I said, a room above a pub. She said, did anyone come? I said, 4 men and a dog. She said, that's not bad for your first time. I said, no, I mean, you've got to start somewhere, haven't you? And then she said, have you always had the gift? And at that point, I realised that our wires were crossed. Because I'll try and be funny, but I wouldn't call it a gift. And she said, what, you try and be funny? I said, yeah. She said, sorry, what is it that you do? I said, I'm a comedian. And she went, oh, when Alice told me, I misheard. I thought she said you were a medium. What a letdown. She must have thought she was going to contact Nana and she's got this prick. She must have thought I was really on the nose when I said it's a bit dead in Jan and Feb, mustn't she? Oh, God, that'll be the winter flu, I suppose. But it was my birthday a couple of weeks ago, and Alice tried again to help me with the anxiety. She bought me a meditation course. Let me tell you, if you think you've got ADHD, meditation might not be for you. I went on a course to learn to shut my eyes, right? And I meant to do it 20 minutes every day. It's been 2 weeks since my birthday, I've done it every single day, 20 minutes. Every day I'm like, right, today's the day, Suze, you're going to smash meditation. You're going to absolutely smash meditation. I think I'm taking the wrong energy to meditation. But every single day I try it. I'm like, right, today is the day we meditate, okay. Body form for you. Meditate, meditate, please meditate. Meditate, meditate. Who shot JR? Why is that just a thing in my head? Who is JR? Autoglass repair, autoglass repair. Why is that just in there? Meditate, 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 meditate. Who is JR? Is it Ja Rule? Oh, he always sounded like he needed a strepsil, didn't he? Oh. He had some bangers. He had some bangers, to be fair. I wonder what Ja Rule does with these days. Probably a producer, I suppose. I wonder what Ashante's up to. Ashanti must be on Instagram. She was great. I hope she made enough money in the mid-noughties to just chill forever. That'd be good for Ashanti. What was that song? Always on time. What is the time? It's been 45 seconds. Fuck my life. Oh, Bloomsbury, this has been an absolute treat. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you very, very much indeed. You mean a lot to me, you always will. Thank you very much. Good night.